Well, hello, my YouTube friend. Tonight, I'm gonna try to do something that I failed to do last year, which is to make actually a video in the heat of the moment, just the day after the end of the USN Gathering. What were the odds? I mean, last year, exactly, I was in the same bedroom, the same hotel, and I tried to make that, but I was too overwhelmed, too tired maybe, and I failed to do it, and I had to wait until my return to Paris to make that video. And tonight, I'm gonna try it again because I think that is the best and the most appropriate moment to relate our thoughts, my thoughts actually, about that show. And the first thing that come to mind is to highly recommend you to try to attend those shows. They are just fantastic. I mean, if you had to choose one and you're a knife collector, a custom knife collector, I would recommend the USN Gathering. I mean, that's my favorite by far. Now, if you're like in between, you like mid-techs and production, custom, you maybe decide to go to Blade, but whatever. I mean, regardless, try to attend to one of those shows because. I mean, we like knives. Those are artifacts, but behind those and around those, you have the makers, you have the collectors, and that is what is interesting in those shows. You will get to meet the people who are like you collecting, and again, I've talked about that relentlessly through. A common point of interest, you are more likely to find people that will think alike. And actually, that's exactly what happened. I mean, this social media thing is a way to open you to the world and to try to focus on people that are like you, collector, amateur of beautiful things. And it's quite, a little bit unpersonal, or at least something is missing when you just have this correspondence, sorry about that, on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever platform you want to use. So this is a way, I mean, to gather around all those people that you follow almost on a daily basis, because Instagram, I mean, it's exactly what it is. It's a platform that allows you to follow people on a daily basis and to exchange with them. And again, it's absolutely extraordinary to be in those shows. Again, to concentrate the most. To concentrate, the more people possible that you can find. And there is no other way, to meet all those people all at once. So I'm not gonna, cite names except the people that are involved in this kind of hall, because this is what it is. I mean, that's my hall. This is actually, I'm gonna talk about that. But I'm gonna talk about the people involved in those, but in general, I will absolutely not be able to name all the people that were at those shows. So that's why I will concentrate on those that are here. But I want to, first and foremost, I want to thank all of you guys that were at the show and that had the kindness to reach out to me to say that you were following me, that you appreciate my feed or whatever. That is, it came straight to my heart, because my point when I do those videos is exactly that, is to share with you. So I seldom have the return about that, because of course I see the comments on Instagram and everything, but it's always better when you have a true return, some people, real people coming to you like that and discuss with you and give you their appreciation, and that is just fantastic. That's what I like about those shows, and that's why I will try my best to keep on doing them, attending them, even though it's a kind of a really long journey for me to come from France and to go, especially in Las Vegas, which is the further away from my house of all the shows in the US. So yeah, thank you so much for reaching out to me, because I have no way. Usually, everyone, present their knife. We don't know how you look like. So, coming to me was really kind of, and again, thank you so much for all of you. And now, through the histories behind those knives. I want to make you appreciate what you can get and what you can have and the experience you can have during those shows. So every single one of these knives will have its own video. This is, I mean, the only purpose of that one is a kind of recap and an attempt to make you understand what kind of experience that you can have either with the maker or with the collectors during those shows. So let's try, to, start with the original. I mean, the master's master, my friend, one of the person that I respect the most in this industry, as a man and as, I mean, an extraordinary reference in the knife making, Mr. and Master Bob Terzuola. Master Bob Terzuola had in mind, to, and I'm going to talk about this one, so that's why I'm going to really short on this. He was supposed to make me a replacement knife, and here it is. It's a replacement knife of a knife that had some issues, but I wanted to change it, whatever. I'm not going to extend in that. I mean, that has absolutely no interest, but this is what he made for me, and this is not usual, it's not, it doesn't happen that often now that Bob takes the time to make a knife specifically for somebody. So, I got to a point where Bob and his wife, Susie, became family almost. My daughter considered them as their grandparents. So this is a matter of family. That is something that I appreciate. I studied and I studied, respecting the maker, and now to me it's just like, a member of my family. So how can I thank him? I will do the video and I will talk about more about this particular knife that has no real name. It's a new design, and it's fantastic. And I'm going to talk about what Bob had in mind when he did that for me, and that's just extraordinary. This one is made for me. This one is a heirloom. As all of my knives from Bob, it will stay, of course, in my collection. Then, this Persian was also a delivery. It's just my first manual knife from him, and you know me. I mean, if you follow me, you know that the Persian is probably the blade shape that I like the most. And yeah, I mean, having my first manual knife from Bob with this blade shape and this gold thumb stud, extraordinary finish on this one. Again, this will have a video of its own. It's just fantastic and overwhelming. So yeah, I got to have those pieces from Bob, to spend my time with him, with his wife, and that was extraordinary. Then my buddy Sebastian Borka was also supposed to make me a delivery of a stitch. I was waiting long for that, and he knows me. He knows that I like, on this stitch, I would have liked, to have a dressier version, I would say. Look at this knife, my friend. This is material for an auction knife, for sure. I mean, if you just consider the last knife that he made, it was way more simple, with a blackened finish and everything. Look at this sand mite. Again, this one will have its own video for sure. But look at that. I mean, Sebastian could have easily sell this one as an auction with this beautiful sand mite, the rock pattern on the flat, the dual new grind, and this particular finish that I'm going to discuss in the video to come about this knife. This could have easily been a knife that would have reached summit in an auction, and he just delivered it to me. It could have been, a more simple piece, but he was kind enough to let me have. It's almost a gift, I would say. Let me have this extraordinary knife, and for that, I want really to thank him. Sebastian lately, with Marfion, is really overwhelmed. He's got a lot of work, and but he still, finds a place for his friends, and yeah. That I will remember, and thank you so much, Sebastian, for this extraordinary stitch. Then I got to meet, and I had an order also for a delivery for this knife from David Santiago. David Santiago, you know him. He's a new maker, of course. He's one of the kindest people you can ever find. And I was lucky enough, to be kind of in his books and get his first folder. I mean, he made maybe two or three that were like liner locks. He sold them in auction for crazy, crazy price because those are extraordinary. And those are the first frame lock that he made. And he made like, I don't know, he's so precise in his work that he came with only like 3 knives maybe. And was one of them, and actually my favorite one because it has this zircotai clip. Look at that, with some colors that are just insane. Look at those deep black and the greens and the pink, insane. And the floating backspacer in zirconium is just extraordinary. And what I like even the most is the fact that this one is actually the only one that is on washer and works perfectly. This one will have its own video, of course, as all the others. And look first at this subtle Hammond that you have here. Man, I'm absolutely overwhelmed with that knife. Thank you so much, David, for that. I really, really appreciate. Then we are already heading to the 11 minutes, but I want also to discuss about those were, the maker side. Then after that, you have all that can happen with collectors or dealers. And, this knife was won in lottery by some guy. Then my friend Steven bought it, and he wanted the knife like he wanted to be involved in an auction, so he sold it to me also. And I ended up getting one of my favorite mini peligro ever, and that will match perfectly the other one that is the regular size with a bolster lock finish. Absolutely extraordinary. Of course, it will have its own video. Then I had also a delivery from Jerry McGuinness. Actually, it was also a mini peligro, beautiful with the Damascus blade, extraordinary. But I had to involve it in a trade that was just a crazy trade, because I had also a carry that I got in. I got the carry because I won at the lottery. I didn't like the knife at the lottery, so a guy bought it from me. I bought a Rogers from this guy. Then after that, he got another carry that I bought from him, and I gave him back his Rogers. And then after that, the carry that I own, and I wanted to keep it, I involved it in a trade with my bro Kako and bro Foko Scott for Blade Junkie to get at last, my first birch. I was waiting for the right one. So you see, that was a kind of bit hectic, but that's exactly what happened. It's so overwhelming that a lot of things are happening, and from a lottery with Kerry and a delivery from Jerry McGuinness, I ended up with some kind of triangulation to get that knife. And this is what happened in Gozo. That's what I want to talk. You have a tremendous amount of trade that are happening in the cove or during the show, and that is also something that is like boiling. That you have some kind of excitement, and you can get some pieces like that through some special and weird ways, I would say. And then also you have like makers that do things for you that I really appreciate, and Jeremy Horton is one of them. He had this knife that was supposed to be with him only for sharpening, and not only did he do the sharpening for free, I mean that was really kind of him, but he tapered and he improved the detent, which is now absolutely unbreakable. It's just fantastic. And not only that, but also he worked here. I mean, if you know this knife, you know that it was not as tapered. He made it thinner here, which looks just extraordinary. And if you look like even on the tip, he did, let me try to show you here, a second swedge here. Look at that. This is the only time that I see that on a Horton. This knife was supposed, again, to be only done as, to come to his shop only for sharpening, and he just redid it for me just for free. And for that also, I want to thank him a lot. And I want to thank you again, one more time, all of you guys. You will have video of all of those knives, but I was, again, an extraordinary pleasure. I took really a great pleasure, and the journey is long, but I will do it again with a smile on my face, because those blade shows, are something that would miss in my life. And that's why, again, for the last time, and that's the thing that I want to say, for the last second of this video, because we're heading to the 15 minutes, try to find a way, whatever effort you have to make, try to find a way to attend those shows, because those, my friend, are most definitely awesome. Bye bye, my friends.